Couple Stereotypes.
I'm Steven.
I'm Erin.
And today we wanted to talk about the concept of reflection rather than reaction. How this works out for Erin and I is I grew up in a relatively critical home environment. My parents were often telling me things that I was doing wrong more than they were telling me things that I might have been doing well or right. And so what that did is that created a lens for me to kind of look through life where if anyone offered feedback to me or offered a suggestion about, I don't know, something I could be doing better or not, I automatically interpreted it as you're being critical, you're telling me I'm a bad person or I'm terrible, whatever it might be. You can imagine that might impact our couple relationship in a very significant way because Erin oftentimes might offer me feedback or offer input into, I don't know, just ways that I might be doing things that, that might be better, whatever it might be. But it's not always said in a critical fashion.
I like how he said it's not always said in a critical.
Yeah, sometimes it is. But
Totally.
but you've experienced me like this, right? Like,
Absolutely.
You might offer just a simple, hey,
I
why don't you wear the red sweater instead of the green sweater?
Right.
And I'm like, you never like my clothes. You're telling me I need to lose weight, whatever it might be. I just react. I just freak out. Would you say that's true?
Well, your reaction is very different from that.
Yeah, I don't.
display.
This is,
Yes. But yeah, I think it's a real wounding and it does go really, you go real inside and get very hurt, rejected, criticized. And I didn't intend that most of the time.
Yeah, and I think that what we have had to work out as a couple through many of my overreactions is we've had this conversation where Erin's like, Steven, I am not trying to be critical when I make these comments. And I think what I began to realize is like, my own experience is informing how I am perceiving what Erin's saying. In a sense, I'm transferring that critical spirit of my parents to her. It's a little psychological term called transference.
Here's the psychological term,
And so, yeah, for all you nerds out there, and I'm transferring that to Erin, and it's actually not what she's doing. And so what I've begun to have to work on is this process of reflection rather than reaction. To where when Erin says something to me, like she could say, how about you have a hamburger instead of a hot dog? I know it's silly. I couldn't think of a better example. But rather than me all of a sudden going to some reaction about like, she always criticizes my decisions and what I'm doing. I can't even choose to eat a hot dog instead of a hamburger and she's always correcting me. I could go there. I'm feeling that, and what I have to do is pause and reflect and say, I feel criticized. What I should do is ask if that's what Erin means. And I simply say, Erin, right now I feel criticized in my choice. Is that what you were trying to do? And oftentimes she's like, well, no, I was just saying why not have a hamburger instead of a hot dog? Because
why not?
I know you really like hamburgers, whatever it might be. And so this process of reflection rather than reaction is something that I've really had to work on. And it's something that we each have to work on as a couple.
Everybody has issues of transference because we all have a story we're bringing to this dynamic.
Right, that impacts how we perceive what's taking place. And so I guess our question for you is, what are the things that you find you react to very strongly in your partnered relationship?
That may have nothing to do with your partner.
Exactly. And how can you begin the process of reflecting rather than reacting in those moments around those topics? So we'd love to hear what those things are. We'd love to hear how your conversations go with your partners about this. So please comment below.
If you found this meaningful, if you find these meaningful, we ask that you share it.
Yeah.
Share this with a couple that you might think would benefit from a better marriage or a better couple relationship also.
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.